it just feels so good to be back. I've been dreaming of this moment for like 2 years, being somewhere where it's really green. You've got the rolling green hills, you've got the smell of wood, the smell of a barn, the cracks of pebbles under your feet, as opposed to the same concrete streets that I've had to be walking for the past 2 years. Just so refreshing.
Right next to McDonald's, a leading modern organisation, is a ruin older than modern Australia.
Pretty much my whole Europe trip so far has been me showing up and figuring out what happens. I've had pretty much no plans until the absolute last minutes. That's the fun of it. You don't know what to expect, and it means anything can come with it.
But back in the day, talking to parents, either my own or friends and whatever, when they were at university, they were a student. Like, that was your identity. You were a student. But nowadays, I think that's very much changed, in part because it doesn't guarantee you a job, so you don't need to do well at uni. You need to be getting portfolio, you need to be getting experience, you need to be learning, and most of that happens outside of the program. So to classify yourself as a student is only classifying yourself as 10% of what you do. It's like saying, I'm a professional eater because I eat 3 times a day, and completely ignoring everything that happens in between that. I want to break out of this 9 to 5. I'm not built to do 9 to 5 situations. I have seen it growing up, the devastations of both sides of the spectrum. Maybe not devastation is a bit harsh of a word, but either being, the people around me, either being the employees and being screwed over by businesses that want to capitalize on profits and minimize your pay and working conditions in the process at all costs, or being additionally on the boss side of things and being in such a bureaucratic system, they have no ability to enact any sort of meaningful change. And I also have people around me who love it because they just get to show up and go home and, clock in and clock out. Great, if that's for you, phenomenal. But I know for me, I love building things. I love to be at the front of it. I love to be creating things that have meaning, that have some sort of real world impact. And that's what I know what I love to do. And last year, I had the opportunity to work from anywhere. With university being online, there was no reason for me to have to be in Sydney. I could be off anywhere I wanted and just attend the tutorials as scheduled in the calendar.
Traveling the world while studying and working online isn't quite as glamorous as it seems. Here I am, 12 at night. Have to get up at 5 tomorrow morning for my uni tutorial, trying to finish an assignment for my tutorial in a couple of days, in which I'll have to get up at 2 a.m. So, not quite as pretty as it seems online.
And it was such an opportunity just to get back out into the world and things, because I hadn't really traveled that much since, exchange 2018. We did actually do a quick trip to South Africa in 2020 to visit a family member there. But really, it still had been a couple of years without, seeing family or friends who'd been stuck on that side of the world, or whatever. Maybe you were trapped inside without an opportunity to really get out and do things.
What's up?
What is that? That's so wide.
That's 16, I know. Well, this is how you do it. And you're like, right, so we're here at Sydney Park, and we got a special treat for you. You'll see my good friend Aiden here.
What's up, YouTube?
Is just having a nap with his camera. What's he looking at? Look at the sky up there. Anyway, today we're doing a camera test with my friend Parker here, getting ready for a wedding next weekend.
You know, the ability to adapt under pressure, or adapt under constantly changing situations when the plane is late and you're having to get to the next stand and the bus isn't working and you're having to change routes and you only got so much time to get to a certain place, so you've got to control all these unpredictable situations and just getting comfortable being constantly in a state of uncertainty. This is what that solo traveling taught me. I never had hotels booked, I never had trains booked ahead. I just pretty much did it on the spot, or maybe a couple days out, saying, oh yeah, I'll be yours mate in Germany next week. I'm like, okay, how do I get to Germany? You know, figuring out the whole train systems and how all of that works, and the stories and memories and life experiences you create from that is just unbeatable. Yeah, so I'm having to sneak out of this hut at 2:30 in the morning, not to wake my friends who are sleeping next door, then to like slowly trod past these horses in the stables and not wake them either, and then navigate my way through the horse barn into like the foyer of this like sort of barn, just to get some Wi-Fi so I could log on to the tutorial and just sit through it for a couple of hours, to then go back to bed at 5-6 a.m. to then sleep in for another 2-3 hours, to then get up and have a big day the next day. Well, that was tough. It was absolutely worth every second.
Not worth getting up at all.
This term that I just completed, it was one of my best terms, probably the best term of uni I've ever had, because it had some good tutors and some good topics. If I went from last term having a class called social media, it was meant to teach you social media, and the tutors didn't even know what Twitch was. To this term, I walked straight into class. The first thing the tutor does is chuck on a VTuber Twitch stream to explain, you know, the impacts of AI and things like that, before all of this trend came along, by the way. But it's like this disparity shouldn't happen within the same university, let alone the same program term after term. It kind of raises questions. I think one of the things that I noticed most recently, which sort of came to mind a couple of weeks ago and I've been bouncing off people and seems to resonate quite a bit, is the fact that if you choose a degree in which is in an industry you already work in, it's pretty much a useless degree. Like, some of them you absolutely need, obviously, if you're becoming a lawyer or even accounting or something like that. But especially for the creative industry, you can outpace your degree very quickly. That's why so much of the degree has been useless to me, because I already learnt the stuff that they're now introducing years ago, just through practical experience. So I think degrees need to be aware of that people are getting this practical experience. They are forced to work in the real environment very early on. They don't get a degree and then work. They have to work while they're getting the degree. So if they're teaching you stuff as if you've never approached it before, that's 3 years wasted. You need to be teaching people things that they can be picking up alongside their occupation, that they maybe wouldn't learn in their traditional occupation. Is completely different. So I kind of wish that I chose something a bit more tangential rather than typical media. Maybe I chose journalism, maybe I chose screen and sound, so filmmaking, because these are skills that are helpful to what I do, but they're not the exact same thing.
Just want to give a thanks to...
You know, because when I was in England, I was trying to connect with as many people as I could. I reached out to a couple in the Netherlands. None of them got back to me, or one kind of did and then went quiet. In England, reaching out to, obviously, Simon and Tim, and I've reached out to a lot of the Sidemen crew, the people working behind the scenes, but I think something was going on then at the time, because they were all busy. They all gave the exact same reason. Initially reaching out to Tom Scott and Max Fosh, who very, very kindly got back to me. You know, both said that they're just really focusing on videos at the moment, so they didn't have time or mental space or whatever, and I'm just like, thank you for responding. Like, it's such a generous and kind industry. I'm just getting out into the world and meeting more people like that, trying to just learn from the best, and you don't have that ability sitting at home, and just getting back out into the world is the thing that I desperately want to do. Like, I literally have this thing here, right? You can't see it at the moment, I wish I had a mirror, that'd be so much better. But it is a calendar that I've got. It is called the Self-Sufficiency Countdown. And I have checked it off day by day until the day I finish uni. Because I know by then I'll have to start living in the real world and my expenses will go up. I will have to start paying for more things, and I know that will be when, if I haven't started figuring my shit out, I will then have to start working jobs, more jobs that I maybe don't want to. So I've had the liberty at the moment to avoid a lot of jobs that are just underpaying, dodgy, whatever. So I have until that time to get my stuff organized. So can I just show it? I guess. No, I can just cut out what I don't want. Right? Just have that there. You know, you're slowly getting there to the end. So I have until that date, the 19th of August. Really, just then, I finish like uni. It depends on exam periods, obviously, but somewhere around the end of August. The 19th of August is my birthday, so I figured if that can be the deadline, if I can have my shit sorted by then, that will be a phenomenal birthday present to myself. And, you know, producing this content, right, if this stuff doesn't pick up, doesn't sustain me by then, which likely it won't, you know, unless miracles happen, I hope to have produced enough quality material that I can point to it and say, hey, here's stuff that I'm proud of. Here's stuff that proves the quality of work that I'm able to produce. You know, please hire me as a result. So no, prior I was putting out a lot of stuff which was fine, but I didn't feel like it truly reflected how good I was. It didn't actually reflect the skills that I possessed at the time. So now I'm trying to slowly build that up and really push the limits of the work that I do produce does reflect the skills that I have. So, you know, when someone watches it, you're not embarrassed because it's terrible, you're proud because it's good. By the end of this, I hope to use that to be able to then go out into the world and fulfill those other deep building desires. To really build something meaningful, explore the world, meet cool people, do cool things, and, you know, live a life that consequently we're proud of and we're happy to have lived.